ever wake up one day and realize you've been playing small, but you don't even know how to play big? You tell yourself, that's just who I am, or it's not meant for people like me. And part of you believes that's part of being realistic. Because change, grow, all that mindset stuff, it sounds nice, but also a little woo-woo. You've worked too hard to feel grounded just to lose yourself chasing some new way of thinking. But here's the truth. Growth mindset isn't about becoming somebody else. It's about discovering who you are meant to be. For some, that means returning to the confident, expressive version of yourself you once were. For others, it means becoming someone you've never been allowed to be. Hi, my name is Priscilla, and I help busy millennial moms who've lost themselves in motherhood discover their sense of self. Today, we're talking about how to transition from a fixed mindset to a growth mindset without losing yourself. Because let's be honest, it's not easy. It feels uncomfortable, it feels foreign, and when you don't see results right away, it feels like, what's the point? But what if growth isn't about changing overnight? It's about learning how to meet life differently. This video will walk you through how to apply a growth mindset to your home, your relationships, career, and even during hard times, without pretending everything is fine. Before we dive in deeper, let's talk about what transition actually means. Transition isn't just mindset work, it's emotional work. It's that in-between stage where old ways of thinking no longer fit, but your new ways of living don't feel natural yet. You are aware that you need to change, but your feelings are still catching up. That's what makes transition so powerful and also so uncomfortable, because it's not about flipping a switch. It's about holding space for both who you've been and who you're becoming. Transition, it's the stage where your thoughts are evolving faster than your comfort zone can keep up. And that's okay. But the messy middle, that's where growth is born. Now, let's talk about what playing small actually looks like. It's saying yes when you mean no. It's downplaying your ideas because you don't want to seem too much. It's staying quiet in a room you should be leading, all because you're afraid of what might people think. And you know what's crazy? Many of us know we are playing small. Yes, we do. We can feel it. But the change that comes with playing bigger, that kind of change can feel disruptive, because playing big doesn't just stretch you, it shakes things up. It challenges routines, boundaries, and relationships that once felt safe. And when safety feels threatened, your brain says, no thanks. But playing big doesn't mean becoming loud or flashy. It means being fully expressed, owning your gifts, your truth, your pace unapologetically. It's not about being more. It's about no longer shrinking to fit. Let's get one thing straight. Having a growth mindset doesn't mean life gets easier. If anything, it often feels harder at first. It can feel chaotic, like everything is falling apart. Friendships clash, work feels tense, home feels heavy, and you catch yourself thinking, I'm trying to make my life better, so why does it feel worse? And here's why. When you start to grow, your awareness expands faster than your environment does. You start noticing what you used to tolerate, draining conversations, old habits, and unaligned people, and that awareness collides with your old world. A world built for the version of you that didn't know better. Yet, That's what the chaos is. The collision between your old comfort and the new consciousness. So when it feels like life is breaking down, it's actually rearranging itself. A growth mindset will cost you before it rewards you. You'll outgrow patterns, places, and sometimes people. But once you walk through that discomfort, things begin to stabilize. You start to see the beauty in the breakdown, peace where used to be noise, clarity where there used to be confusion. The same life that once felt overwhelming starts to feel lighter, not because the problems disappeared, but because you changed the posture of them. That, in a nutshell, is the truth about growth. It doesn't make life easier, it makes you stronger. And yes, a growth mindset is difficult in your current environment, especially if that environment was built around your old mindset. If you're surrounded by negativity, by people who prefer comfort over courage, by spaces that reward staying the same, growth feels lonely. But it's not impossible. You just have to be intentional. Curate your environment like you curate your mindset. Protect your inputs, what goes in, what you watch, what you listen to, what you read, and who you spend time with, because your environment will either support your evolution or suppress it. You can't plant new thoughts in toxic soil. Switching from a fixed mindset to a growth mindset can feel like losing part of your identity, because the fixed mindset feels safe. It tells you what to expect. I knew I'd mess that up. I knew it was too good to be true. I knew I wouldn't get that job. And when you expect disappointment, you protect yourself from it. But that protection also keeps you stuck. The moment you start believing things can change, that's when fear creeps in. What if I try and it doesn't work? What if people think I've changed? That's the tension between who you've been and who you're becoming. And it's okay to feel scared. Fear just means you're stretching. At home, it's saying, I'm learning how to stay calm when the kids test my patience, instead of, I'm just not a patient mom. In your relationships, it's saying, I'm still figuring out how to communicate better, instead of, we just don't get along. In your finances, it's saying, I haven't learned how to manage money yet, instead of, I'll never be good with money. And let's talk about one of the biggest one that just, it irks my spirit. I'm just a mom. What? Just a mom? You're not just a mom. You hold everything together. You're the organizer, the comforter, the peacemaker, the reminder of hope on hardest days. You're the one who keeps going when everyone else is falling apart. Just because there's no payslip attached doesn't mean it lacks value. Let me say that again for the people at the back. Just because there's no payslip attached doesn't mean it lacks value. You're the foundation that holds the whole system up. That's leadership. That's strength. You're not just a mom. You're the foundation that keeps life moving forward for everyone around you. Let me not catch you saying you're just a mom. I say it with love. A growth mindset isn't for when life is easy. It's for when it isn't. When the job falls through, when the diagnosis hits, when the relationship cracks. That's when it's hardest to stay open. A growth mindset doesn't mean pretending everything's fine. You still feel heartbreak, the disappointment, the grief. You cry, you question, you pause. But at some point, you whisper to yourself, this isn't where my story ends. Growth mindset doesn't erase the pain. It transforms it. It teaches you that you can learn from it. And that's how healing becomes growth. This is where transformation really happens, not in thinking about it, but in living it. People love the idea of change until it starts costing them comfort. But growth doesn't destroy who you are, it refines you. Here's the mindset I'd like you to hold on to. Embrace progress over perfection. Perfection says, if it's not perfect, I've failed. Progress says, I'm learning as I go. Failure is feedback, not final. Every setback gives you information. It tells you what doesn't work so you can discover what does. Add micro habits. Micro habits are daily tiny actions that slowly shift your identity, like taking 3 deep breaths before reacting, writing 1 sentence in your journal, saying 1 kind thing to yourself each morning. Small actions done consistently rewire your brain faster than big changes done occasionally. Swap self-criticism for self-inquiry. Instead of asking, why can't I get this right? Ask, what is this teaching me? It sounds simple, but simple is powerful because transformation happens in small, consistent shifts that compound quietly over time. What's one thought that's been running your life? I want you to write that down. Then add the word yet at the end. That's your first micro shift. As you leave this out, remember, growth it's about progress. Perfection keeps you performing for approval. Progress keeps you moving with purpose. In a growth mindset, failure isn't proof you can't do it. It's feedback that shows you how to do it differently next time. You'll hear many voices inside and out. That's why self-talk matters so much. You're with yourself 24/7. Train your inner voice to speak like someone who's rooting for you, not someone who's disappointed in you. Be your own cheerleader and surround yourself with people who see growth, the ones who say the right things, not the easy things. People who say you've come so far when you start doubting yourself. You don't need a crowd, you need a circle. A small one that believes in who you're becoming, even when you can't see it yet. A growth mindset begins with self-honesty, not the kind that sugarcoats, the kind that looks in the mirror and says, if something's going to change, it starts with me. Because growth isn't about waiting for the right timing or perfect motivation. It's about deciding you're done with your own excuses. No one's coming to do the work for you. The responsibility lies with you. And once you make that decision, follow through. Don't make promises to yourself you never intend to keep. Don't talk about change like it's a wish. Treat it like a commitment. You'll stumble, of course you will. You'll fall back into old habits, old ways of thinking, old reaction. But when you do, don't drown in guilt or pity. A fixed mindset says, see, I knew I couldn't change. A growth mindset says, I slipped, but I'm learning. I'll do better next time. The pity party can happen, but make it a short one. Feel it, name it, then move on. Because if you sit in it too long, you'll forget your why. And your why, your reason for changing, is what keeps you anchored when it gets hard. Remember, you're not just doing this for today's version of you. You are doing it for future you. The you who looks back and says, thank you for not giving up when it could have been easier to stay the same. Transitioning from a fixed mindset to a growth mindset isn't about becoming someone new. It's about returning to yourself. The version of you that believed in possibility, possibilities, that tried again after no, that dreamed without asking for permission. A growth mindset isn't blind optimism. It's quiet strength. It's saying, this is hard, but I can learn my way through it. Because the moment you name it, you take back your power. You're not falling behind. You're just in the process of becoming. If you've ever wanted to reprogram the way you think day to day, you'll love my next video. Practical tools to rewire your thoughts as a mom. I'll see you in the next video. Bye for now.